Stakeholders reveal why FG may not negotiate the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Despite the readiness of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra (IPOB), to negotiate with the federal government, stakeholders doubt that the federal government led by Bola Tinubu would be willing to consider that option. Barrister Emeka Iheonu, a Lagos lawyer who spoke to Sunday Independent on the renewed call by Chief Clerk, said accepting Kanu's willingness for negotiation would have been a smart way to end the economic crisis brought about by the sit-at-homes in the southeast. Though former President Muhammadu Buhari refused to release Nnamdi Kanu from detention after his abduction from Kenya, despite a court ruling in October 2022 ordering his release. But there have been calls on President Bola Tinubu since his inauguration in May 2023 to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. A year later, the president has not heeded these said calls. In March 2024, a federal high court judge denied Mazi Nnamdi Kanu bail. I believe he has appealed. However, more bodies like Ohaneze Ndigbo, the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria (CBCN), etc., have also called for his release. The latest is the call by Chief Edwin Clark, an elder statesman. Kanu's release, in my opinion, will pave the way to economic prosperity and security in the southeast. His continued detention has been the major cause of insecurity in the southeast. The Monday sit-at-home has paralyzed the economy of the southeast by making many businesses lose billions of naira every week, he said. Elder statesman Chief Edwin Clark recently added his voice to the renewed call for the release of Kanu. Julius Adeguna, a media executive and public affairs analyst, said, "If you can recall what Nnamdi Kanu did during NSAS, most especially against the personality and business of Senator Ahmed Tinubu as a former Lagos State governor, President Tinubu will not jump at freeing the IPOB leader. Besides, it does not seem as if Kanu's IPOB followers are ready to allow peace to reign with what they are doing in the southeast. They need to humble themselves before the Nigerian government to allow peace to reign. You cannot be pleading for an accused person, standing trial, and be causing trouble at the same time. So whoever wants to plead for Kanu should be sure that peace reigns before and after their requests, which will lead to his eventual release by the court. I wish them all the best." Barrister Blessing Joseph Afan, a human rights lawyer, in her contribution, told Sunday Independent that Nnamdi Kanu's release on bail will be difficult. According to her, her view was based on the fact that Kanu jumped bail 2 years after his arrest in 2015. Noting that he was first arrested in 2015 and still remains in detention, Barrister Afan, president of the International Human Rights Protection Services Florida, USA, Nigeria chapter, stressed the Supreme Court of Nigeria upheld the federal government appeal. The Supreme Court set aside the judgments of the Court of Appeal, which ordered the release of Kanu and then ordered the resumption of his trial before the Federal High Court in Abuja on terrorism-related charges. Meanwhile, Honorable Charles Anike, the national president of Eastern Union (EU), has said that the organization supports Nnamdi Kanu's consideration for out-of-court settlement with the federal government. Speaking with Sunday Independent from his Abuja case, Honorable Anike stated that the EU, a political pressure group for the people of the old Eastern region, supports the arrangement, which he described as a short-cut solution to the crisis that has almost paralyzed the southeast. Anike stated, "The speculations that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is considering out-of-court settlements with the federal government is a way forward and a sort of shortcut solution to involving the long-overdue problem that has almost crippled the robust economy of the southeast and some parts of the south-south." He recalled that many prominent citizens at several times had suggested to the former President Muhammadu Buhari's government to seek a political solution to resolving the problem, but regretted that that administration enjoyed the pains and frustration of the Nigerians. Hence, it remained adamant to the call. According to Anike, This is a man illegally adopted by the government, and ever since, the government has kept amending their charges against him, and yet to no avail. Individuals, including foreign governments and civil societies, have been calling on the government during and after Buhari to seek a political solution and then release the IPOB leader so that peace and normalcy can once again return in the region. But the various governments remained adamant, probably enjoying the crisis and shedding of innocent blood in the east, especially in the southeast. It is very obvious that the government has no genuine case against Kanu, but has been detaining him out of hatred. This position was confirmed when others accused of the same crimes as Kanu have long regained their freedom and are moving freely. Therefore, it will be a good omen both for the government, Kanu, and the people of the Southeast in particular if the Tinubu-led federal government can at this point begin to retrace its steps towards obeying court orders and justice. Political solutions to resolving the lingering problems are believed by many as the only way to go and the way forward. I believe too that the federal government right now has too many problems to focus on rather than continuing to entangle itself with baseless cases against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The continued incarceration of Kanu will no doubt continue to be a distraction to any serious government and also abuse of his fundamental human rights. When Kanu stated his desire for negotiations at the last session in court, FG's lawyer, Chief Adeboyega Awomolo San, responded that he had earlier informed the defendant that he, Kanu, lacked the powers to embark on such negotiations since he was no part of the fiat that was issued to him by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. Awomolo maintained that only the AGF had the authority to negotiate or take further steps in relation to the matter, noting that the case bordered on alleged terrorism. If he is interested in negotiating, he knows the right place, the Attorney General of the Federation's office, Adeboyega stated. Reacting to the developments, Trial Justice Binta Nyako said the duty of the court was to hear the matter that was brought before it and not to act as a solicitor for any of the parties. She said it was left for the parties to agree on the way they wanted the matter to go. If you want to discuss with the AGF, no problem at all, Justice Nyako added. Well, what are your opinions on this? Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you can be notified when we upload daily content here on this channel. And don't forget to share this video with your family and friends so that they know to go on.